Hi everyone, welcome. We will get started in just a minute. Okay, hi and welcome. Thank you for joining us and for taking time out of your day to attend our webinar. My name is Tina if you're new here, and I'm the marketing manager for 79 Consulting. In this edition of our monthly webinars, we will be talking about how we can build custom integrations with NetSuite and how this can help overcome challenges in growing your business. Before we start, I'd like to mention that we have a handy chat feature, and if you have any questions, please do post them in the chat box to the right of your screen. If I haven't mentioned this before, we do these webinars every month, and should you like to catch up with any of our past sessions, please do head on over to our website and to the webinars archive tab on the homepage, and you can see everything that we have done before. I'll just catch up with all our past sessions. A quick introduction to our company, 79 Consulting. We founded in 2007, and we've been providing support, managed services, and integration services for NetSuite clients worldwide. To extend NetSuite's platform functionalities, we offered Suite apps through our partner Twerna that you can find on suiteapp.com using the search term Twerna. And you can see them all on the screen in front of you. Okay, speaker for today is Uday, who is our scripting practice lead. He started working with us in 2016 and has 19 years of IT experience. He is responsible for providing technical services to customers, including designing and building solutions, enhancements, customizations, and ad hoc requests. Hey Uday.
Hi, Tina.
Let's get started. Uday, why should we build integrations?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So in this webinar, we'll try to understand about custom integration and talk about building custom integrations in your NetSuite account. We'll try to cover various topics like understanding the different integration options, identifying the right integration option for your requirement, and then steps involved in planning, building, and maintaining an integration. So integration of applications is becoming a necessity that is helping businesses grow while providing the flexibility to plug in various solutions and applications that meet the diverse needs of a business today. So NetSuite is helping you take advantage of its integration ability, and it's providing various opportunities to expand your business by integrating a cloud ERP with various solutions and softwares. So let us understand more about how to build custom integrations with NetSuite and how it can help your business as part of this webinar.
Uday, tell us about the different integration options available.
Sure. So we have multiple options to integrate with NetSuite, right? Integration, and as all of you know, integration can happen in both directions. It can happen from external applications to NetSuite, or it can also happen from NetSuite to an external application. So let's look at all the integration options in both these cases and how each of these integration options work. So we can also try to look at the pros and cons of each of these options as much as possible, right? So first, let's look at the integration option available for NetSuite to external applications. Integration of NetSuite with external applications is possible with the help of custom NetSuite scripts, the SuiteScript platform of NetSuite that helps you build these custom scripts to integrate NetSuite with an external application. So these custom scripts fetch the required data from NetSuite and pass it over to the external applications by either invoking the exposed APIs of the external application, or if it is a file-based integration, we can upload a file to an SFTP or to a drive, right? And then the data transfer can be real-time as well as scheduled, and the decision on the same can be made based on the type and volume of data that is being integrated, which can vary from customer to customer and requirement to requirement. Okay. Moving on, we'll look at the integration options available to pull the data or push the data from an external application into NetSuite, right? So first and foremost, we have iPaaS, which is basically using an integration platform. As we know, we have a cloud-based platform that facilitates these integration applications. We have a lot of those options like Boomi, Celigo, MuleSoft, right? So these platforms, they act as a central hub and provide the ability to integrate multiple applications with NetSuite. So some of the pros, these applications offer pre-built connectors for popular applications and data sources. So these platforms typically provide intuitive graphical interfaces and drag and drop tools, making it easier for non-technical users also to build these integrations. They also provide monitoring and management tools to track the performance of the integrations and manage errors easily, right? Coming to cons, there is additional subscription and license cost that is involved for a platform-based integration, and the options to customize and ability to handle complex integrations might be limited compared to other integration options with the platform-based integration. Okay. Moving on, we can look at the REST Web Services or the Suite Talk. So the NetSuite REST Web Services provide an integration channel that extends the capabilities of Suite Talk. REST Web Services provide REST-based interface for interacting with NetSuite, and using REST Web Services, we can perform CRUD operations. CRUD operations as in, create, update, and delete operations to perform business processing on NetSuite records and data. So these REST Web Service endpoints are unique to each NetSuite account and will need a NetSuite account ID along with account-specific auth tokens generated for that particular account to access these web services. So the pros of this option: REST APIs are relatively easy to understand and use, and developers don't need to have NetSuite scripting expertise, and with little guidance, they can access these APIs. Also, there is no additional development needed on the NetSuite side. Coming to the cons of this option, in certain scenarios, we might have to make multiple API calls to accomplish a task or to complete a requirement, which can be avoided with some of the other integration options. Also, users might require NetSuite internal ID information for a particular record or transaction when they're trying to perform read or update or delete operations. Right. Okay. Then we have RESTlets, which are custom NetSuite APIs. RESTlets are SuiteScript-based server-side scripts that allow you to create custom RESTful endpoints within NetSuite. So they are a good alternative to the REST Web Services to overcome the issues we were just discussing with the REST Web Services. And of course, we'll need to generate auth tokens and access these custom APIs using the auth tokens. That's an additional level of security. Coming to the pros, RESTlets are highly customizable, and they can be used to implement complex business logic and data processing. They are suitable for scenarios where you need fine-grained control over the integration logic and want to leverage SuiteScript functionalities. On the downside, yes, you will need to have NetSuite scripting knowledge, and additional NetSuite development is needed for this option. Okay, so in summary, there are multiple integration options available at our disposal, and it is important to consider all the scenarios of your requirement before opting for a specific NetSuite integration option. So this webinar will focus mainly on the custom integration options and building them to help specific integration needs for customers.
Got it. Thanks, Uday. And before we proceed, I'm just going to put in a quick poll question for our audience. And you should see that popping up on your screen right now. Please do take a couple of seconds to answer that. All right. Uday, let's now move on to the next topic, which is how do you plan your customer integration?
Sure. So planning a custom integration with NetSuite involves several steps to ensure that the integration is efficient, scalable, and meets all your business requirements, right? So first and foremost, we need to define clear business requirements. It is very important to clearly define what we want to achieve with a custom integration, and input from all the key stakeholders plays a key role in understanding the pain points and finalizing the requirements. So we also need to determine the scope of integration, which includes the systems involved along with the data points that will need to be integrated. So all these points need to be considered while defining the business requirements. And then we need to do a quick analysis, or clearly analyze the applications and systems for which the integration is being built. We need to understand the current systems that are in place, their capabilities, and this includes NetSuite and any external system that we plan to integrate. We also need to identify the source and destination of data along with the direction of integration. Is it going to be bidirectional, or is it going to be just NetSuite to external application? All these decisions need to be made when we analyze these systems for which the integration is being built. We should also consider the volume of data that will be exchanged once this integration is built, along with what will be the frequency of this integration, right? All these points should be considered. And then, of course, the final important step is to choose the right integration method, the custom integration method, right? We need to decide whether to use, will it be NetSuite SuiteTalk or RESTlets or REST APIs? The decision is very important for smooth and successful implementation of integration. And like we discussed earlier, this is totally dependent on the nature of the requirement and the business need of the customer.
Okay, let's talk about implementing integrations.
Right. So once the planning and the design is complete, the implementation phase of an integration starts, right? So the first step is to verify the accessibility between both systems, right? And again, the integration could either be a file-based integration or API-based integration, right? And if it is file-based integration, which means data is exchanged between the systems using files, right? That's what is file-based integration. So it is important to identify the location where the files need to be stored, where the files need to be picked up from, and it is also important to define rules around the retention period of these files that are uploaded on the storage location, right? It is also important to verify the access of the file storage locations and make sure NetSuite is able to create or read files from these locations. Coming to the API-based integration, a thorough analysis of the APIs needs to be done to ensure all the required functionality is available to fulfill the integration requirements. And also connectivity tests should be performed before actually starting with the development. This can be achieved with simple tools or simple tests from tools like Postman. Okay. So once the connectivity tests are completed and the analysis of storage locations and APIs is done, so development of the integration starts. So during this phase, it is important that periodic review of the data exchange format between both the systems is performed, and also necessary to keep the integration on the right track. Security and authentication play a very important role for integrations, and we should plan for secure authentication mechanisms like OAuth or token-based authentication for any integration. And then, of course, testing is another key phase of building an integration. While building an integration is important, it is very important to perform integration tests as well between the two systems, and there will be additional effort required for these integration tests, and care should be taken that additional effort is budgeted for the same. And then the final step of the implementation is production deployment. Again, there is a lot of prep work involved before deploying an integration to production. So care should be taken to ensure proper access tokens are generated for the production environment, and integration setup with the right set of tokens between both the systems is in place in production.
So, Uday, how do we monitor and maintain our integrations?
Yeah. So once the custom integration is live in production, it is very important to keep an eye on the same for the first few days. So we need to log and keep track of all the failed records, ensure that these failed records have been successfully integrated. And this can be taken care by building an automatic retry logic for all the failed cases. We also need to have a roadmap to address any bug fixes or handle enhancement requests that could come up, during the course of building the integration. And we should also verify the integration periodically for any changes between both the systems. And we should also do a complete test in the release preview environment to ensure there is no impact on the integration because of a new NetSuite release.
Got it. What are some of the challenges that we could come across while building custom integrations?
Right. So while building a custom integration with NetSuite, while it can provide a lot of flexibility to the users, it has its own set of challenges. And these challenges can definitely be overcome by proper planning and being aware of how to handle these challenges. So some of the key challenges are, the first and foremost challenge with any integration in general is the exercise of field mapping. Data fields and field types could vary between the two systems that are being integrated. And it is important to go through both these systems and do a thorough analysis and do a mapping exercise of the fields during the design phase itself. And then NetSuite offers multiple sets of APIs, and they all have their own complexities and learning curves involved. However, you can overcome this by choosing a right partner who's experienced and knowledgeable with these custom integrations and who can guide you through this process. Also, NetSuite has concurrency limits, which vary from account to account, and also have governance limits, which in some cases might restrict the volume of data that can be processed. So again, have the right experts who can help you implement efficient data processing strategies and work around these limitations.
Let's talk about some of the benefits of building custom integrations.
So with custom integration, it's definitely a customized solution. Custom integrations can be designed to meet unique requirements of your organization and business processes. It reduces manual effort, increases efficiency, minimizes errors, and can also lead to significant cost savings. Also, custom integrations can enhance your customer experience and provide unique capabilities that are not available in standard solutions.
Okay. Can we talk about some best practices?
Yeah. So Keep the integration dynamic and flexible. Users should have the flexibility to make minor changes like field mapping changes or header name changes without actually touching the code base of the integration, right? We should make sure a robust retry logic is in place. It is very important to have a sound retry logic for the custom integrations to work with as little manual intervention as possible. Um, we should also try to have a copy of the integration data that is sent to NetSuite stored somewhere in NetSuite. This will be helpful with any issue troubleshooting or fixing of integration issues between the systems. In case of file-based integrations, make sure any archived files are cleaned up after a fixed period of time, and it is important to keep file cabinet space in NetSuite as free as possible. Also ensure proper checks are in place to verify the environment from where the integration is getting triggered. And this is necessary to make sure that sandbox data doesn't get sent over to production integration after a sandbox refresh in NetSuite.
Okay, can we go over some custom integration use cases, Uday?
Yes. So let us look at a few custom integrations that were built by us to give you an idea of how this process works. So we had an API-based integration that we built with a POS. As part of the integration, we had access to the APIs of this POS system, and we had to fetch the daily sales information on a location basis and create cash sales and sales order records in NetSuite. So this integration was challenging because there was a limit on the number of fetch requests for the authentication token from that POS system. So we had to engineer a solution to work around uh, this particular challenge and accomplish the requirement. We also had to achieve this with very minimum interaction with the POS team and just by going through the available documentation. Another use case, we had to build an API and file-based integration with a cash flow application. So one of our customers had a requirement to integrate NetSuite with their internal application that is helpful for their organization to automate AR and cash posting, right? So this integration was hybrid and very complex. It needed a combination of both file-based integration and API-based integrations to be built. So we had to design the solution in such a way that these components work together flawlessly. And we also made the integration so flexible that users have the ability to configure field mappings. They have the ability to trigger either a full export or a delta export. And they also can change the headers and the names of the headers in the file-based integration.
Got it. Let's tell our audience a bit about how we can help.
Sure. So custom integration development includes multiple steps, and we can help you at each and every stage. There is architecture design, where we already discussed. We need to clearly outline the purpose of the integration and the problem or the gap the integration is trying to solve. So design phase plays a key role in the foundation for a successful integration, and this should be handled by expert and senior architects. Our architects at 79 Consulting can help you with this phase and make sure you succeed with the custom integration build. Also, there is development of the components. Care should be taken regarding governance limits and concurrency limits, and we should ensure that there is enough flexibility for the end user to be able to use the integration and have the ability to make minor changes once the integration is actually built. So our experienced technical team can make sure all of these requirements are met, and they also bring to the table their past experience of building complicated custom integrations along with the NetSuite technical expertise. And then we have integration testing. Again, 79 Consulting has a dedicated QA team who are experts and can ensure a thorough evaluation of the integration is done before releasing it in production. Of course, deployment and post-deployment support. We can help with any issues that could crop up for end customers after the integration is live and resolve the same by working with you as a team. We'll take care of deploying the integration to production. We'll take care of any configuration or changes or pre-release setup that is needed. So all that is part of the post-deployment support. And then we have NetSuite release support. Again, as all of you are aware, NetSuite has 2 releases every year. We can help you test the integration for every release on the release preview environment and make sure all your integration functionalities and features are intact with every new release. And finally, documentation. We will provide a thorough documentation of the design details along with the script details, integration details, and we can help creating a training document, and we can also help with training your users on how to use the integration.
Okay, thanks so much, Uday, for taking us through that. Now, if you have any questions, please, this is the time to ask them. We're going to be hanging around for a couple of minutes. And if you would like to reach out to Uday directly, please use the contact information on the screen in front of you. And I hope to see you in a future session. Thanks and bye bye.